This is Harry Judd for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. We're in Joe Gallagher's gym. I'm delighted to be joined by Scot Quigg. First of all, Scott, mate, how are we?
All good, pal. Not too bad. Keeping busy, so it's all good.
You are keeping busy. Hectic gym in there. You've been doing some pads with Paul Butler. Huge fight coming up against Inoue. Just take me through that. Yeah, your instant thoughts on that fight, mate.
Yeah, I mean it's obviously it's a massive task. Anyways, obviously I think he's on most people's or top at the pound for pound on most people's list. But it's something that obviously Paul's well up for. We're all well up for, and we're doing putting the work in to give the best chance Paul to go over there and pull a massive upset off.
Yeah, I mean, people are saying, "Oh, it's not that it's an upset. It's a big task." And we all know it is, but that's why he's in the game for. Arguably, this is the fight that he wants, and this is the fights that you're in the sport for, isn't it, Scott?
Yeah, this is obviously people say, like you look at social media and people are going, "Oh, he's sending a lot to the slam and a lamb to the slaughter." Sorry, yeah. And it's these when you're a fighter, these are the fights that you come in boxing for. You want to test how good you are. You want to go up against the best. And obviously, you have these people that are sat at home, armchair fans, and all these critics, keyboard warriors. They can say whatever they want. What that does, to a fighter, is to someone like Paul anyway, just motivates you even more. And obviously, the team around him and we're all putting the work in. It just motivates us more.
Obviously for yourself as well. You've been training here. All the fighters, etc. But how proud, how much of an honour is it for you to be training Paul for this fight, mate?
Yeah, obviously being here with Joe and helping him and Joe bringing me on board, and obviously I'm learning from Joe as well because obviously you look at his resume as a trainer. So I'm learning all the time, but also I was training with Paul and training with most of these fighters, but I know the experience that I have and what I can actually bring and add to them as well. And all the fighters are very receptive, and it's good to be in the gym helping improve the lads.
In terms of this fight as well, it's obviously in Japan. Is that somewhere you've ever thought about going to before? I've heard it's a mad place to go.
No, I mean the amount of people that obviously that I've told I'm going over, and they've always said, "Oh, I'd love to go to Japan," and it's somewhere where I would never have actually thought of going. If someone said, "Oh, do you want to go to Japan?" I would, "Nah, you're all right." But apparently, it's just sort of actually looked at it more, and it's somewhere I'm actually looking really forward to going. So mainly, I'm going for the boxing. If someone said, "I'll pay for you to go somewhere," I'll pay for you to go to Japan, I said, "Well, will you not pay for me to go somewhere else?" So I'm only going here because of boxing, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you looking forward to tasting some of the cuisine, some of the food out there, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm big into my food and that, and it's what I thought the food was going to be like. To be fair, I thought it weren't going to be the best sort of food, but I was mistaken. I've spoken to a few people and said, "Oh no, the food over there is top notch."
Yeah, sorry, I was just bizarre that. Moving back onto the training though, this is obviously a simple question for you. How has the camp gone? How is he feeling in there? I spoke to him before this interview, but to get your perspective on it, how's everything gone, Scott, so far?
Camp's gone, like, when they say camp could have gone any better or anything like that, camp's gone good. What I mean is everything that we are working on is coming into play. He's in a good place, mentally he's in a good place, he's feeling good, and we're just putting the pieces together. Like I said, the game plan that Joe's come up with, we're just going over it, putting it into play, and week by week. Like today, we're working on the mix with him today. Things that I was having to remind him of. Now we're actually starting to become more natural and they're flowing more. So everything's well on track.
How much do you think people are underestimating Paul Butler? 'Cause he's been in some big names. Obviously, Tete being one of the big names he's been in with, some fantastic fights. How much do you think people, especially over the US and the US media, how much do you think they're underestimating Paul?
Oh, listen, whoever Inoue is in with, yeah, they they give no chance. Obviously, I believe they're underestimating Paul. You look at Paul's last fight when he won the world title. I mean, what a performance! No one was picking him to win that fight. Johnny went out there and absolutely boxed the best. I believe the best he's boxed, and beat a very, very good fighter. So people, like I say, they're not going to give him much chance, because when you look at Inoue and what he's done, you've got to say, yeah, he's a very big favourite. But no, Paul is not well out of his depth. He deserves his opportunity, he deserves his chance. And when you come into boxing, these are the fights that you want. So you don't want to go in there and fight people that you know you're going to win. Eventually, yeah, Paul's at a stage of his career now where he wants to test how good he is, and not only that, make the most money.
Yeah, definitely. And what are the obviously with the obvious things that Inoue has, what are the key factors in this fight, do you think?
Listen, to be fair, he's an all-rounder.
Yeah.
He's good at everything. Very, very sharp, very quick right hand, very, very strong, very powerful, very clever. Footwork's, it's hard to pick a fault with him. It is hard to pick a fault with him. But it's like, this is with anybody, it's disturbing their rhythm. You're trying to disturb the consistency of how he applies his pressure and stuff like that. So there's certain sort of things, but I say he does everything very, very well. So like I say, everybody's under no illusions how big of a task it is. But it's one we're all well up for.
One of the facts or figures that Paul and I spoke about was the this would be the first Englishman to do it in the 4-belt era. Yeah. Last person to do it was Lennox Lewis with the 3-belt era, but this could arguably be one of the biggest away wins in a British fighter history.
Listen, it would. You've got to say it could go down as. It's got to be either the top one or definitely in the top 3, 1,000,000%. Yeah. But this is what you come into boxing for. These are the sort of nights that you want. And like I said, if he pulls it off, he's definitely a massive history bookmaker.
Just talk to me through your. I don't want to take any away from the game plan, but how do you see this fight going? Can you see a knockout either way, or how do you see the fight going, Scott? Really?
Like you say, obviously, Inoue's got unbelievable power, so Paul's got to be switched on from start to finish. It is basically that simple. But I do think, like I said, it's more of a, I'd say, more of a points, or maybe more of a points win for Paul. Maybe late stop, because I think people are disregarding how hard Paul hits. Paul hits very, very solid, and he hits you right, then you're gonna feel it. So again, he could be a late stoppage or points win for Paul. Like I say, we know it's a big ask, and it's just like I say, he's got to be able to take away Inoue's strengths, and one of them, the main strengths, is his power and his speed.
Another person in the gym today, Tasha Jonas, back out November 12th to add another belt into the super welterweight category. What can we see happen there with that one? She seems to be just continuing to break records and adding belts to collection, Scott.
Yeah, listen, Tasha's on a roll. She's happy, and she's just thriving, in the gym all the time and improving still. It looked at one point where people thought that was it for Tasha. No, she's got back in the gym. Like I say, she's now over at Boxer. She's happy. Yeah. They're treating her right. They're treating her well. And you see, when you've got a team around you, all supporting you, and brings her into the gym, and she's happy. And when Tasha's happy, she just, she's improving all the time, and like you see from her last performance. And again, I have this again another tough fight. There's no easy fights at this level, but I have every confidence in the way Tasha's preparing, that she's going to add another belt to her collection.
Yeah, and the WBA, obviously, Terry Harper's had to vacate that. Hannah Rankin now will fight for that again, and if that does come successful and Hannah Rankin does win it again, then that was a fight previously that she wanted. Again, if the WBA title is an option, let's say, hope that Natasha gets through her next fight on November 12th. Is that a fight, Hannah Rankin and Natasha, to unify the whole division? Is that something which can be spoken about?
I mean, if like I say, all going well, Tasha pulls this off, there's obviously the WBA belt that'll be available. But not only that, there's a big fight that could be made. So like I say, it's just about, the main thing is Tasha getting in, doing the business, adding another belt, which, like I said, the training's going well, and I have every confidence in it. It's still a tough ask, as in a tough fight, sorry, but I have every confidence in her doing that, and then there could be a big fight again that could be on after that. But again, the main thing is all the focus is on, the 12th.
Trying to jump in there. I think I know which fight you were going on about. Let's go on about Saturday night. Krista Shields, Savannah Marshall. Just take me through that fight. It was a fight which has been brewing for so many years, obviously with the amateur fight, etc., and the postponement due to the Queen's passing. So it all culminated on Saturday night, and what a huge spectacle, Scott.
Yeah, well, I mean, what a massive night for women's boxing. To be, first of all, all women fights, sold out arena, and what a night of boxing it were. And obviously the last fight was a great fight as well. I thought Clarissa Shields for the first 4 or 5 rounds was unbelievable. And then obviously Savannah come back in it for a few rounds, but then obviously Clarissa again. She showed why, she calls herself the GOAT, and many people call her the GOAT. But no, I thought, what a time for women's boxing, and what an event, and it just shows it's getting bigger and bigger, and the quality is getting better and better.
I think that was that was one of the dangers of that was if it was a successful night in terms of being, it was highly attended, etc., that would have been good, but if the standard wasn't there and it wasn't exciting, then again it would have been
all had to come together. And not only that, like I said, the people turned up, the buzz before it all that captured the public, so like I say, everybody turned up, and the night lived up to it. Not only that, the viewing figures was, I think it was 2 million. Again, that's just another way to confirm that it's definitely on the rise, and like people are behind supporting women's boxing.
One thing that happened after that fight was Savannah said that she'd like to move down weight. Moving up was something that was being spoken about in the press conference, and Clarissa was adamant she didn't want to go that high. The rematch, I don't think will be something that they will do straight away. She did mention Natasha Jonas fighting her. Is that a fight which she'd like to see?
Who's that?
Clarissa.
Like I say, it'd be a massive fight.
I thought that's what you were hinting at, the big fight.
I mean, it'd be a massive fight. And obviously this is Tasha's at Clarissa's old weight. So listen, that could be an absolute massive fight. But like I say, first of all, it's Natasha come through this, adds another belt to her collection, and then maybe that is a fight that could be that would be an unbelievable fight. That could be, for that to happen, it'd be an absolute massive fight. But like I say, first of all, Natasha's got to do the business.
Yeah, I think it would be, and I think that definitely would be high attended. Whether it would be in the UK, I don't know. I think it probably would be out in the States. Let's.
I think wherever it makes sense and generate the best, because it'd be, I think, all over I think women's boxing, to be honest with you, in the UK is, where it's at.
Well, that's what Clarissa said during fight week. She said the UK it's the home of women's boxing. You can see by the amount of talent that we've got here.
You see that the attempt. Let me tell you, there's not. Well, Emily was there on Saturday. Emily was there. What was it, 18,000 or whatever? Let me tell you, there's nowhere in America that is turning 18,000, 14,000 even. To go and watch a full women's card. The UK is the home of women's boxing. So I do think that if a fight like Natasha and Clarissa Shields was right, for me, the place to have it would be the UK. But like I said, Natasha's got a big fight coming up. She's got to focus on that, and then that's when that mega fight or fantasy fight could be made.
Sticking with the American side of Saturday night, Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgardner. Mayer was, again, you'd expect it, upset with the decision at the end. It was a split decision. I think it was so close, so I think you could have had it either way. There was no one disappointed in the crowd, in which it was Baumgardner that had the result. She certainly was the one who came on strong at the start. But, did you have Baumgardner winning it, or a draw, or Mayer up by one?
To be fair, I was watching it, but I weren't watching it to scoring it. I like Mayer, so I thought she edged it, but I might have been looking through, tinted glasses because I wanted Mayer to win. But you couldn't really argue with the decision. I did think Mayer got it by a round or so. I thought that's the way I was looking at it. But you couldn't, you can't really argue with the decision. I thought it was a great fight as well.
Moving on from Saturday, there are rumours escalating. Ticketmaster announced it yesterday, but I don't think it's an official announcement. Tyson Fury and Derek Chisora 3, of all things. Is that a fight which we need to see again, Scott?
To be fair, I like the pair of them, so I'll watch it. I think, like I said, Tyson does what Tyson wants to do, and he deserves to. He's fought everyone. I'd like to see the fight. I would like to see is Tyson and Usyk.
Yeah.
Obviously, people are still want to see Tyson, Joshua, but Tyson Chisora doesn't have the same pull that the other ones do. But let's say it is what it is, and Tyson does what Tyson does, and like I said, I still think it'll be. And the thing is with Chisora is unpredictable, So these Tyson boxes his head off, I think. But if it does happen, and like I said, these strong things that it is that. But yeah, listen, Tyson does what he wants to do, and people tune in to watch Tyson for Tyson.
Yeah, and there's definitely been worse heavyweight fights that have definitely happened in the past. So I don't think people will be that upset with it. It's just the fact that the second one was so convincing, and like you said, I think people want to see the Usyk fight.
But the thing is, Chisora's got better as well.
Yeah.
Chisora's getting better, and like I said, I just like him as a person. I think he's just unpredictable. He's just, but no, the one I want to, I'd like to see Wilder, Joshua. Like to see that fight, but then I want to see Tyson Usyk. But it's like I say, it all depends what we see. But then again, also these Wilder Usyk that could happen, and I think Wilder could.
What did you make of that? He's slimmed down, obviously, at the Saturday with Hellenius, on the back foot as well. Two of the things you don't normally expect with Wilder, but again, what a knockout that was.
Well, that's the thing. Wilder could still beat any of them because the power he has. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I said, we just need the fights to happen. Like I say, Tyson Usyk, Joshua Usyk, Joshua Wilder, Joshua Fury. They've just got them fights just need to be made.